Imagine this. You're sipping your morning kopi, scrolling through your inbox, and bam, there's an email saying your visa renewal's been rejected. Your job's on the line, your kids might have to switch schools, and the life you've built in Singapore? It's teetering on the edge. Sounds dramatic, right? But for tons of expats and foreign workers, this could be the real deal, as Singapore's new immigration rules for 2025 kick in. I mean, Singapore's always been the spot. Shiny skyscrapers, crazy opportunities, a place where people from all over the world come to chase their dreams. Professionals, entrepreneurs, laborers, you name it, they've flocked here. But now, big changes are coming, and they're shaking things up in a way we haven't seen before. We're talking tougher visa rules, insane salary hikes to stay eligible, and way fewer spots for foreign workers. Millions might have to pack up and leave. The government's saying, hey, we're just looking out for Singaporeans, but could this whole thing backfire and mess up the economy instead? So who's going to feel this the most? How are businesses and families going to handle it? And is Singapore pulling off a genius move or setting itself up for a fall? Let's unpack it all together. Oh, and real quick, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button and tap the bell. Over here at Globe Wander, we're all about keeping you in the loop with the latest on global policies, travel vibes, and big international stories. Stick with us, and you'll always be one step ahead. Okay, so what's actually happening? Singapore's government just dropped some major news about its immigration policies, and it's got everyone talking. The goal's pretty clear. They want to put local jobs first and cut back on how much they lean on foreign talent. They're jacking up salary minimums for work passes, slashing quotas for foreign hires, and even hiking levies, those extra fees companies pay to bring in non-locals. This isn't just hitting the high-flying execs either. It's going to shake things up for mid-level workers, low-skilled laborers, and even families who rely on domestic helpers. Basically, no one's off the hook. Take the Employment Pass, or EP. That's the visa for pros in stuff like tech, finance, or engineering. It used to be you needed SGD 5,000 a month to qualify. Not anymore. Word is, by 2025, that's jumping to SGD 6,500 or more. And if you're in something like banking, it could even hit SGD 8,000. Crazy, right? So if you're a mid-level expat who's been chilling with a decent gig, you might suddenly need a fat raise. Or you're out. Companies might not be thrilled about shelling out extra cash either. So a lot of folks could be stuck figuring out their next move. Then there's the S-Pass. That's for mid-skilled workers, like people in construction, retail, or hospitality. Same deal. Higher minimum salaries, tighter quotas, and those pesky levies going up. Businesses in these industries lean hard on foreign workers to keep things running smoothly. So this could mean higher costs, layoffs, or even some places shutting down. And don't get me started on low-skilled workers. Think construction crews or factory hands. Their permits are getting slashed big time, which could stall all those huge projects Singapore's famous for. Here's a wild thought. Could these rules actually push businesses out of Singapore and hurt its global rep? Stick around because we're diving deeper. The job market here's always been a battleground, super competitive, right? These changes are supposed to nudge companies into hiring more locals instead of foreigners. Fair enough, but some people are worried it's going to leave gaps nobody can fill. Like Singapore's a hotshot in fintech, AI, biotech, all that cool stuff, and then pulling in top talent from everywhere to make it happen. If companies can't hire those experts anymore, they might just say, see ya, and set up shop somewhere like Hong Kong or Dubai instead. And it's not just the fancy industries. Construction's going to take a hit. Those skyscrapers and MRT lines don't build themselves, and they've always relied on foreign workers. Cut those numbers, and you're looking at delays, higher costs, maybe even half-finished projects. Same goes for retail and hospitality. Finding locals to fill those service jobs isn't easy, so businesses might have to charge more just to stay afloat. That means your chicken rice or bubble tea could get pricier. Living in Singapore is already not cheap. Can you imagine it getting worse? Oh, and households? Yeah, they're in for it too. Tons of families here depend on foreign domestic workers for childcare or looking after elderly parents. With stricter rules and higher costs to hire them, that's another headache and more money out of pocket. It's like every part of life's getting squeezed. So, what's your take? Is Singapore doing the right thing, or is this going to blow up in their face? Let me know in the comments. I'm dying to hear what you think. Businesses are scrambling now. Big corporations might pivot to automation or move jobs elsewhere, but smaller ones? They're in trouble. They don't have the cash to soak up these extra costs, so we might see some mom-and-pop shops or startups throw in the towel. If too many companies start bailing, Singapore could lose that global business hub crown it's worked so hard for. But here's a bigger question. Is this part of some worldwide trend? Think about it. The US under Trump tightened up on H-1B visas and made it harder for foreign workers, all to put Americans first. Some say it helped local jobs. Others say it chased talent away and left gaps in tech and healthcare. The UK did something similar after Brexit. Points-based visas that favor high earners, leaving low-skilled industries high and dry. Singapore's move feels like it's cut from the same cloth. Prioritize locals, lock down borders, and hope it works out. Thing is, Singapore's not a big country with tons of resources. It's a tiny island that's thrived by being open. Can it pull this off without tripping over itself? Foreign workers have been the backbone of Singapore's growth. I mean, who built those shiny towers or keeps the city humming? From engineers to domestic helpers, they've shaped this place. Now, with these rules, the big question is, will this open doors for locals, or will it slow everything down? The government's betting on controlling population growth and giving Singaporeans more job shots, but if businesses can't function, it's game over. There's so much we don't know yet. Will companies eat the costs, or will prices shoot up for all of us? Will Singaporeans actually benefit, or will jobs dry up if businesses leave? It's a bold play. No doubt, and the whole world's got its eyes on how this shakes out. Okay, here's something to chew on. Could these rules send top talent running to places like the US or Canada instead? Hang tight, we're circling back to that. This isn't just numbers on a page, it's people's lives. Picture a construction worker from the Philippines who's been here 10 years, sending money home to his kids, now told he's gotta go. Or an IT manager from India who moved her family here, got her kids in school, and now might have to leave unless her boss doubles her pay. These are real stories. 1.4 million foreign workers call Singapore home, and that's a huge chunk of the population. Families could split, dreams could crumble, and entire communities might uproot. Meanwhile, Singaporeans might be like, sweet, more jobs for us, until they see the flip side. Higher prices, slower growth, maybe a less lively city. It's a trade-off, and not everyone's gonna win. Singapore's always walked this tightrope, staying competitive while keeping the economy roaring. This feels like they're choosing short-term job security over long-term growth. If companies decide it's too hard to operate here, they might bounce. Places like Malaysia or Thailand are already eyeing the opportunity, ready to swoop in and grab those businesses and workers Singapore's pushing away. Competition's heating up, and Singapore's got to watch its back. So, could this spark a talent exodus to North America or Europe? It's not hard to imagine. If you're a hotshot coder or finance whiz and Singapore's too pricey or strict, why not try Canada's open arms, or a US that's maybe loosening up under new leadership? Singapore's got to play this smart or risk losing its edge. Bottom line, this is a huge moment. Singapore's built its whole identity on being global, adaptable, welcoming. Turning inward like this could protect locals, or it could unravel everything they've worked for. We won't know till the dust settles, but 2025 is going to be a wild ride. Before you bounce, make sure you're subscribed to Globe Wander. We're dropping more deep dives on global stuff like this all the time. Hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. Tell me in the comments, do you think Singapore's on the right track? How's this going to change things? And if you're living there, especially if you're